Organization working together in this very important campaign cycle. My name is Alan English. I'm the president of the Atlanta Young Republicans. If you are not yet aware of what the Atlanta Young Republicans and just the YRs in general are, we are a grassroots organization directly affiliated with the Republican Party, specifically focused towards people ages 18 to 41. So if you're not a member and you're interested in becoming a member, we'd love to have you. We have a bunch of great organizations, YR organizations here in Metro Atlanta. But again, we focus mostly in Metro Atlanta, and specifically for AYR. Just want to give you guys a heads up, we do have events like this every month. So if you've never been and you have a great time and you want to come back, well, we have another event like this on May 19th. But again, I want to thank everybody here for coming. I'm going to pass the mic over here to Deanna Harris, who is the president of the Cobb Young Republicans, and we're looking forward to having Hershel Walker speaking here in about 5 minutes.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today?
Yeah.
Can we get riled up a little bit? We got Hershel Walker in the building. Well, I'm honored to be here. So glad that Shelley, Wynter, Blexit, Georgia, and Atlanta YR has joined in. Welcome to Cobb County, just in case you didn't know that you were in Cobb. And we're so excited to have the Braves Stadium here, the Battery Park. Things have been going really well this year. Such a crazy election cycle. But if you have not voted, early voting started this past Monday, and it goes up until the 20th. Election day is May 24th, so please get out and vote, definitely. The Cobb County Young Republicans, we meet once a month on the third Wednesday of every month, and we usually just go around in the different bars and restaurants in our Cobb County area. We also have memberships. You don't have to be a Young Republican to be a member. You know, we have silver members too. No disrespect. It's 21 to 40. We have a good time. We definitely inform our voters. We get out the vote, and we help our people who are running for office as well. So thank you all for coming, and just meet me outside or hanging around if you have some questions.
Hey everybody, my name is Jay Andrews, and I am the state director for Blexit, Georgia. And if you guys don't know, Blexit is a foundation that was founded by Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum. And like I said, we are the Georgia chapter. And our chapter was actually voted the chapter of the month for the month of March. And basically what we do, lately we've been really focusing on taking the message of conservative values to the communities. So what I want to ask you guys is, if you guys have any areas that you feel like you may want some minorities to come out and speak with your communities about conservative values, contact us on Facebook at Blexit, Georgia on Facebook, and we'll come out to your community and speak with whoever is open to speak with us, because we're just trying to spread the message that it is minorities that do have conservative values, and that black people don't all have to think the same way. And so with that being said, in the month of May, we're also focusing on a community. We have a big community cleanup, so we're going to be in DeKalb County, focusing on just cleaning up the community and creating an opportunity to have that conversation. So, like I said, you can find more details about us at Blexit, Georgia on Facebook. Thank you.
All right, the moment you've all been waiting for, we're going to invite the host here of Word on the Street, WSB, Shelly Wynter, to come. He's going to moderate this event with Hershel Walker. Please give it up for Shelly Wynter.
My name is Shelly Wynter. Thank you all for coming. Our show, myself, Milani Kai, who, by the way, has just won a Gracie Award. It's an award that's given to women in media, and she just won for a large market talk personality co-host. So please give her a round of applause. Our show airs Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to midnight. I know if you're driving home, check us out. All we ask everybody is, if you don't like the show, just keep it to yourself. But if you love the show, share it with all of your friends. So without further ado, U.S. Senate candidate Hershel Walker. So I want to just do a little background because we have a lot of people here. People who want to have answers, questions answered. People who are here to use clips to drop on social media. People to use clips to attack. So there are a lot of people here, different types of people.
So do I need to give a lot of sound bites so they can use?
Do what you do, brother. Do what you do. But I just want to let everybody know I'm going to be asking questions. Hershel's going to be answering them. So please keep your applause to a minimum, because so we can get through it. Okay?
So wait, you just assume they're gonna applaud at what I say?
They may applaud at what I say.
Oh, okay.
A lot of these people listen to the show, so they
I listen to the show too.
Well,
Do you not dress nice? I'm like, I love that.
You know, the same jacket. That's going to be the first thing the War Not campaign shoots out there. That wear the same jacket.
Suits of us.
Joseph made that shameless plug. So let's begin. Before I begin, I need to shout out, if you guys are in the market for a new automobile, please go to Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. If you listen to the show, you know that's a very humorous thing to say. But please, Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Let's start. The elephant in the room, no pun intended. You haven't debated your opponents, and there's been a lot of criticism around not debating. Can you tell us why you're doing that, why is the strategy? And then the second question is, can we be confident that if you win the primary, will you debate Raphael Warnock?
Well, first of all, when I decided to run, I looked and I said, there's 159 counties in the state of Georgia. And I said, I want to touch all those counties. And then I got calls from the senators, and I won't call their names because I don't want to embarrass them. Now, the first thing they asked me is, could I raise money? They didn't even ask me my name. They said, can you raise money? The next thing they asked me is, can I get people to change over? And my answer was, I can raise more than you, and I'm black. Which means that I got family in Georgia that's black, so they're going to change over because they voted Democrat before, they're not going to vote Democrat again, they're going to vote Republican. And I got out and I started working. And I don't know if you've seen, but I've been in the top 3 fundraisers in the Republican side for the last 3 quarters that I've been in. I've been raising the money. And I've been getting people to change over. My opponent, they've been raising money. They've been getting people to come out and see them. And I said, guys, why are you holding me to a different standard than you hold anyone else? And then I saw in the Republican, in the governor race, if you wasn't holding above, what was it, 10%, you didn't even get invited to the debate. There's nobody running against polling more than 10%. So I said, what I'm going to do is get out to meet the people, because those are what's important to me. If I go to a debate, I don't want to argue with people, I don't want to be fighting with people, I want the people to know what I stand for. And I say, I'm a warrior for God. I don't have time to entertain people. Right now, there are people dying on the streets here. There's people right now can't even afford gas, can't even afford milk, can't even afford eggs. And you want me to debate and argue with someone? Why don't they get out and do their job? Because that's what they've been doing in Washington for the last couple of years, not doing their job. That's the reason we're both in right now. So that's the reason I said I wasn't going to debate. And when Warnock was ready to debate, he's ready to go down. I'm ready to take him on. He called the date. He set the time. I'm ready to go. And if y'all know anything about me, I show up. When I show up, I'm ready to go. I don't lose. I win. That's the reason I get into this race. I'm going to win it.
So those are good facts.
Those are relatives. And I got a bunch of relatives. That's what people don't realize. Guys, I'm from Georgia. I'm kind of confused when people start throwing all this crazy stuff out. Hershel Walker from Georgia. My family live in Georgia. My relatives live in Georgia. I'm Georgia bred, Georgia brown black. Hey, then not only that, my family is white. I got all kind of family here. That's what's so weird. When this thing is over in the primary, y'all going to be shocked what's going to happen. Because this is something bigger than Hershel Walker. People are tired of what's going on. They're tired of politicians, and I'm not a politician. It seems like everyone going to the debate now want to talk like a politician. Well, we don't need to talk like a politician. We need to talk like a human being and defend this country, defend what's going on with our kids in school. That's what I'm about. I'm about doing those things, not debating. And if when one not ready to debate, let's sit down and debate. Because what's so funny, you only see him in one debate. Y'all seen him preach. What did you see him do? Have you seen him in more than one debate?
I haven't seen one debate, actually.
And they say that he's a great debater. You seen one. Y'all seen him preach. He can preach, but he also said he want to kill babies. He also said he don't.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Well, that's you the one who brought it up.
We'll get to that. He does, however, let's bring that up, because you brought something up very interesting. The senator does have a challenger that has basically been buried by the media, buried by the Democratic Party. Her name is Shelley Johnson. No one called for her to debate him, but they're calling for you to do debate. So do you want to touch on that a little bit?
The reason that's that is because I have a name. Guys, I busted my ASS for this name. I came from Wrightsville, Georgia. I had nothing. You know, I couldn't even afford oil and coal. I was poor. That's how bad it was. But you know what? I didn't use that as an excuse. I got off my tail and I started working. I worked my tail off every day. I built my company. I hear people talking about that company. Let me tell you about this here. I started in the food service business 23 years ago. I was at a food show 5 days a week at like a street vendor selling chicken. People were rude to me. They would come up and place an order with me, and they would smile. I'd kiss them. They'd kiss babies and all this stuff. They would leave and cancel that order. They did me like that for 5 years, and I stayed with it. And today, that is one of the largest minority-owned food service company in the United States of America, because I worked at it, and I know how to create jobs. I know all about that stuff. So I said, guys, I'm sick and tired. Y'all want to hold me to a different standard than you hold anyone else to. And I said, no, I'm going to be held to anyone else, because when it comes down to it, I am the best man for that seat, and they know it. I don't care what has happened. I've gotten up so many times. It is shocking. But you know what? God is good, isn't he? And that's why I'm here. God is a good God.
All right, let's move down. Senator Warnock has ads running right now detailing his accomplishments after 2 years in office. What specific critiques do you have with what he has done?
Wait, he's talking about his accomplishment after 2 years in office? Okay, that is funny, because he's voted almost 90-something% with Biden, and right now we're not energy independent anymore. Right now the gas prices are going out of the roof. Right now food is going off the chart. Kids right now, you don't want them to, now they talk about CRT in the school system. Right now, wait a minute, are you serious? Wait, do y'all see what's going on in this country? And you gotta think this is what we need to live like? This is not the way America is made. America is a good place. Right now, we got problems. If we didn't have problems, I wouldn't be running. And then he said that, he's not a magician. He's not a good senator either. Because if he was a better senator, we would be in the problem we're in right now. Right now, we're not the leaders no more. We know that. And let me tell you what, when America is leading, this whole world is okay. Right now, America's not leading. That's the reason why we have problems. Right now, you can't afford gas. I live in the country. My parents live in the country. They got to pay paycheck to paycheck. To fill up your car, gas is like $100. To go to the grocery store, to get a little bit of groceries, like $200. And right now, it costs over $5,000 a year for every family today. And he's proud of that. I'm not proud of it. That's the reason I decided to run. I'm proud of it, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of us complaining. Like, now you gotta hate yourself because you get skin color. Can you believe it? Hey,
we'll get to that part.
I'm jumping you down. No. That gives you a chance to ask more questions.
That's the whole plan.
Okay.
That's a conversation. Ukraine was recently, I'm going to skip around here. Ukraine was recently invaded by Russia. The Biden administration has sent hundreds of billions of dollars in aid. Some people say rightfully so, many believe it's right. Is this something you agree with? And would there be any circumstances where you would vote to have boots on the ground?
First of all, I never vote to have boots on the ground. I don't want to send our military servicemen right to the war. And let me tell you what, the reason we're the greatest country in the world is because we got our United States military. The military is the reason we're the greatest country in the world, and I always hear these politicians always make that statement. There's peace through strength. But let me tell you what, if we don't keep supporting our military, we will have no strength and we'll have no peace. So I said what we needed to do, we should have been proactive rather than reactive. We've known for a while that Russia may invade Ukraine. Why didn't we send a lot of the weapons over there beforehand and when it got in this boat? Well, now since we're here, let's say what we got to do. Why don't we send them better equipment, better things that they can use? We're never going to send soldiers over there. We can send other equipment over that they can use as well. Because I said we don't want to get into another war because we don't want our military service men and women fighting over there. And I think I never agree with that. So I think we need to be in everything. We need to be more proactive than reactive.
You mentioned high gas prices, high food prices, inflation. What in your opinion is the best way for this administration, generally speaking, but more specifically, if you were to win the Senate seat, how would you fight to bring down prices?
That is very easy. First of all, people always talk about energy independence, but let me explain it to you. Biden gave us the pipeline. He gave us the pipeline, but we only needed a little bit more to finish that pipeline. The problem we have, though, we're letting our enemies make oil and gas for us. They're drilling oil and gas for us. Our enemies are doing that, but this is what even worse. Do you know that those countries release 40% more carbon into the air than we do? We're one of the most environmentally friendly drilling in the whole world, but yet they won't drill our own oil and gas right here. If we start doing that, it's going to bring some of our prices down. It's also going to create jobs. And the next thing you got to do is remove some of the regulations of our government. Our government regulates everything. So what we got to do, because what we do is we take the jobs over here because we don't want people doing it over here because they got all the regulations. We send them to other countries like China, India. We send them all over there to do these things. We don't have those regulations. And then we take that product, bring it back over here and sell it within this country here. Why don't we remove these regulations here? Then people can create jobs here. They can create businesses here. Instead of we empowering other countries, why don't we empower this country? It is time that we put people in Washington that's going to look out for America, not look out for everyone else. These people here are hurting too. There's no doubt we're generous. But right now, we cannot continue to live like we're living. We can't continue to do this. It's not sustainable. They're spending money we don't have. It's sort of like your son. My son used my credit card, and all of a sudden, he buy me all the gifts, and I'm all happy with the gifts, but when I get home, I see the bill, and now I got to get another job.
Let's move on to the media. I'm going to read some things, and young people here, excuse the insulting language, but as a black conservative,
the media insulted me.
As a black conservative for many, many years, I've taken the slings and arrows, I've taken the attacks, I've been called the names. And it's watered down your back, pretty much. I mean, that's just a part of it, right? Whether you're on radio, in politics, whatever. If you announce yourself to the world as an African-American conservative, that's going to be the attacks. But I'm going to read something to you. This is from The Nation. Hershel Walker's candidacy is an insult to black people. This is Ely Meistel, guy with the Don King haircut. He says, I make a hard distinction between black conservatives and these tokens. He's meaning you, Senator Scott, that's who he's talking about. Right now, shucking and jiving for their white handlers. Let me talk more. Walker has positioned himself into being a useful fool for those who don't have the interests of black people or this democracy at heart. And he's irrelevant to the black community. It hurts me even to read this, but it seems to me that these news outlets are using white commentators to attack you on policy and using black commentators to attack you on race and name calling. I want to know, one, how that makes you feel, and how do we combat that going into the general election if you were to become the nominee?
Well, not if, we. One thing about it, I tell people this, even without saying cast the first stone. He had hatred in his heart. And it's okay. And I've told him I love to sit down with him and discuss policy or discuss whatever you want to discuss because I'm not into the name calling. I went through that. I was bullied when I was a little kid. People call me a coon, not to excuse the language. They call me a coon. this was so funny. Do you know that they're not even smart enough to know a coon is one of the smartest animals out there? Hey, think about it. If you're gonna call me something, don't call me that. Call me something a dumb animal. Don't call me a coon. That's a smart one. And I'm like, guys, you ain't calling not gonna bother me. What is going on right now is bigger than this. And you know what? Who is he working for? Working for the
MSNBC, The Nation.
Oh, is it a black person on there?
Several.
Right, but
A couple, well, two. On the weekends, they don't give them prime time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
What I'm saying is, right now, he's got to keep a job. And I understand that. So I said, what you want to do is sit down and talk to people because, you know, when you were up talking earlier, you said, because I'm conservative, people are upset with me, calling me names. Let me tell you what. You're mad at me because I want lower taxes. Everybody should want lower taxes, I would think. You're mad at me because I like school chores. Shouldn't everybody want an education for their kid? You're mad at me because I want my community to be safe. Shouldn't everybody want that? You're mad at me because I want to protect our military, protect our police. And I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't everybody want those things? That's what's so funny. That's everyone should want it. And I'm tired of them putting us in a box like you're black, so you got to vote Democrat. That is so wrong. That is more racist. And then racist, look at our president that said, you don't agree with me, you're not black. You don't agree with me, you like this, and all this stuff that's going on right now. Because let me tell you what, this Roe versus Wade, when you start saying that once Georgia had babies aborted by African-American black babies. So he's like, is that not racist? Like, wait a minute, guys. So I said, we need to get out of this racism thing and get out of calling people names. Get down to what's serious. What's serious is people dying out here on the streets. That's what's serious. What's serious is people can't go to work. What's serious is right now, our kids are not being taught, they're falling behind. What's serious is these mandates that our government is trying to put on. So I'm not worried about somebody that's talking about that because when you're winning, nobody likes you. Then I told people this, when you love me, I'm in your heart. But when you hate me, I'm in your mind. So I'm in his mind and stuff, so I'm bothering him a little bit.
Do you think that bother comes from the fact that right now, according to some polls, that the race is, you're a little up in some and you're tied in others with a sitting incumbent senator?
Oh, there's no doubt. That is really, really bothering them. And what's sad about it, you want your media to give you the truth. It doesn't matter what side, not being political. You don't want one to sway one way or the other. You want them to just give you the truth. And right now, it seems like you got to decide what is the truth and what's not. I'm going to give you a good example. You know, my mom, I love my mom to death. She is the best woman. And my mom and my father were my heroes. I never had heroes growing up. I never followed football. Everyone knows me as a football player. I never followed football. My mom and my dad and Jesus Christ were my heroes. But I heard my mom on the phone a couple of months ago talking to my wife. And she was talking to Julie, and my nickname is Bo. She said, how Bo doing? And Julie said, he's doing well, he's doing pretty good like that. And she said, I heard he dropped out of the race. So I happened to hear that, and I get on the phone. I said, Mom, how did you drop out of the race? She said, no, I just heard on the TV that you're going to drop out of the race. I said, Mom, I'm not dropping out of the race. Where did you hear that? I just heard it on the TV. She started debating with me that I'm dropping out of the race because she got it from some news. Somebody on the news said something. And I said, guys, that's what's so sad. Right now, you know, everyone has freedom of speech. We got that. But when you're supposed to be the news, don't be a reality show. Tell people the truth that they can know that that's the truth so they can make good decisions. Right now, I want people to go to the polls and make the right decision. Make the right decision. No decision is who loves this country. This country is at a tough time. Who loves the Constitution? Hey, they're trying to get rid of the Constitution. We got to now start thinking about who we need to put in office that's going to do the right thing.
I want to skip to the debates. When we were planning this with AYR, Cobb YR, and Blexit, I asked them, hey, what are some questions? And the two issues, the debates, not doing the debates, you answered that question.
And then, no, this was so funny. In the debate, because...
it's kind of funny, when you put your... when you, with hands like these,
yes,
grabbing my arm, I'm like terrified right now.
I'm very violent. I'm very violent.
I'm like, I'm glad you're a nice guy.
Yeah, I hear it's so funny. I'm very lovable. That's what's so funny. I'm a lovable guy. I had problems growing up, but I'm tough too now. Don't take.
Well, that's what I want to get to. I want to get
to that.
Yeah, I want to get to that. I want to. Because the AP and the media has made much about your past, specifically you're running in Texas for law enforcement. The AP actually.
That's what's so funny. That's what's so weird. Well, go ahead.
No. Talk about it. I mean, that's people. That's one of the things that people. Well, what about this? What about that? So I wanted to ask you about that past and address it. You address it in the book and ask you about that. But just talk about that first.
But you know what's so funny? People don't realize I did write this in a book. And some people say I didn't write everything, but that's not true. I did write everything. Some of the things I talk about, I didn't even know about it. And I do have my gun license. I got a gun license because they said I didn't have my gun license. I got a gun license. I do. I can't carry a gun. But I don't carry it because I'm a gun myself. I'm a bad man. But anyway, but what's weird about it is I said, guys, they're going to do this stuff because, first of all, I'm winning. Second of all, they don't like me. Third of all, because they got nothing to offer. Guys, I'm not going to go out and try to talk about my opponent because, you know what, let them do their own game. I'm meeting with people all over the state of Georgia. And that's what I want to tell them. They ask me about meeting. I've been meeting with people all over the state of Georgia in big crowds. Guys, I talk to people and I take answers. I talk to them. And you know what? And I don't even have a basement here. So they say I'm in the basement. I have no basement in the state of Georgia. I have one in Minnesota, but I don't have one here, so I'm not in the basement. My wife and I have been out almost 12 to 15 hours a day, almost every day since I announced I was running. And we've been traveling around raising money. We've been raising money. This is another thing. Do y'all realize that they say that we're such a racist place? I'm going to tell y'all something that's very funny. Do y'all know that the top 3 fundraisers on the Republican side, y'all know who they are? Tim Scott, he's black. Hershel Walker, he's black. Marco Rubio, he's not white. But we're so racist country. That is so, wow, they've been top fundraisers. Now, so guys, let's get away from race. Let's get back to things that's important. It's the content of that person's character. And the content of that person's character is what he got in his heart for his fellow brother. What he's got in his heart to give back. And as guys, that's what we got to do. We got to be able to give back to people. Help people out. Because, you know, there's people that are struggling sometimes. We want to be able to help them.
Now, in order for me to have anybody tune into me on Monday,
Yes.
I've got to re-ask that question because you kind of didn't ask.
Oh, I didn't answer. Sorry about that. What was the question? Well, I went off into somewhere. That means I'm learning politics until I pivoted. I didn't know what I was
Right.
going.
So as the journalist,
Yes.
I've got to pivot you back and
Okay.
re-ask the question.
Yes.
So the past issues.
Yes.
Can we talk about those?
Oh, yes, we can
How
talk
do you
about
address those? You address them, like I said, you address them in a book.
Yes.
But with people live, what do you want to say about them so we can take that off the table and oh, by the way, let me just stop right there. I keep saying we because I am a conservative. I will be voting fully Republican ticket. So
And
this
that's
is not,
not-
that's why I'm saying we. I don't want anybody saying Shelley was at, I'm on the team. This is a team interview with tough questions, if that makes sense.
And I want to, let's say this, and then I'm going to answer the question is, I want to remind people also, early voters started May 2nd, and, the general is May 24th. But I want people to hear this, because as I've been going around the state, I need to tell people this. A lot of people are going to vote Republican. So if you go to the polls, ask for a Republican ballot. Don't ask for a Democrat ballot that you used to ask for. Ask for a Republican. Because I found out that some people didn't know that they got to ask for that one. And I said, I want everyone to know you got to ask for a Republican ballot. And you also get to vote twice. Meaning you vote in the primary Republican and you vote in the general. There were some people I was talking with didn't know that. So I want everyone to know that. So now I got that straight. And my next thing is, I love to talk about my mental health. Guys, I went to a hospital when I had a problem. I never drank before. I don't know if y'all know. I don't drink beer. I don't take medicine. I don't take any medicine. But I was bullied when I was a little guy. So I was bullied a great deal. So I used my coping mechanism through athletics. So I went through the athletic world, like this stuff, like blowing and going, conquering and everything. But then when I got out of football, I had a problem. So I was taught that when I have a problem, I got to take care of that problem. So I went to a hospital to see what was going on. When I got out of that hospital, that's when I built that large company of mine. But I also started working with the military. So what I would do in the military, every 3 weeks, I would go to a base somewhere in the world. And I talked to them about there's no shame to ask for help. So I worked with them and I treated people that have any type of mental problem, have any type of chemical problem. So that's what I started doing. Because I said we all fall short of the glory of God. And I said, I'm willing to talk about mental health anytime they're willing to talk about it. But I want someone that got the experience to be up here with me talking about it. Not a reporter that's going to make fun of it because I've gone so far to remove that stigma of mental health. Not to have a reporter to tear it back down again. Because I said mental health is something very serious. And people don't understand it. When you don't understand something, you try to get away from it. And I said, guys, give me somebody that know about it and want to talk about it. We can talk about it because I've been in it now for almost 20 years. And I said, I understand. I've helped so many people. Oh, and you talked to a young man.
Yes, I did. We had him on our show. Shameless plug, Word on the Street, airs 9 to midnight, Monday through Friday.
And I'm promoting the show, so you
yeah, we
Was
did.
that a good answer? Or no?
Well, you know what? Was that a good answer?
If it wasn't, y'all come when you get an educator that want to talk about mental health, y'all come to that show. Y'all have one on your show, and I love to do that.
I just find it interesting, and this is me just kind of playing radio.
Never had it.
No, not at all. But
I
playing.
can't call you that.
Right. But me playing radio kind of in a way. What I find interesting is that recently a story came out where they can't attack mental health because during the Super Bowl, the Congressional Black Caucus ran ads during the football playoffs about the importance of mental health and seeking help. So they can't attack that. But I saw a recent article where they attacked the means in which you sought the help for your mental health. In other words, the therapy was a problem. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, it's mental health. However you seek help is how you seek help. And so I bring that up to say how you address this. And I'm saying you guys can attack me if you want. I'm a conservative. I'm interviewing a conservative. So, but when this goes bigger and we have these discussions, how important is it for you to address this and embrace it and bring it as part of the campaign?
Oh, no, it's a big part of my campaign. Mental health is going to be a huge part of my campaign because it's a huge part of what's going on in America. As I've been doing my listening sessions around the country, I found out that mental health is a major problem in this country. You know, one of the questions I asked some people in law enforcement, what was their biggest problem that they had? And one of them said mental health. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we're having now to go and arrest people that have a mental health problem, and we're not equipped for it. And as I was talking to some of our medical people, I said, what is some of the biggest problems? They said mental health. We're not equipped for that as well. So I said, what we got to do is start helping people on the mental health side by putting money to help those facilities. That years ago, there used to be facilities here that it used to do work with mental health, but now they've removed them all, and now they've slightly slid them over to the police department or to the medical area, and those people are not equipped to help people that have a mental health problem.
What made you seek the seat? Early on, you seemed, a bit skittish. You're quiet. People were asking the question, "Are you going to jump in? Are you going to jump in?" What made you decide to jump into the race? But more importantly than that, why? And this comes from my dear sister from Cobb YR. When you jump in a race, what makes you believe? What makes you think? What are the attributes that you have specifically that makes you believe you could do the job of a U.S. senator?
Well, what made me jump in this seat is Judah and I prayed about it with a guy by the name of Pastor Tony Evans at Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship. Before I've done anything, I prayed about it. I'm a praying man. I grew up in a praying family. And everyone always thought that someone told me to run for the office. Let me tell you, people don't tell me to do anything. Hershel Walker don't dance and sing for nobody. That's the first thing. You need to know that. I don't do that, but I prayed about it. And, to be honest with you, I was praying that God would bring somebody else. I was doing okay. But, guys, I'm America's dreamer. I'm from Middle Georgia. Grew up with a speech impediment, grew up like overweight. Nobody ever thought I'd make it. They didn't think I could make it. I got a scholarship to go to college. I've been on the Olympic team. I've been all over the world. This black kid from Middle Georgia got a chance to do that. Well, when God helps you, you got to help somebody else. That's where I grew up. So right now, when I see that there's a problem going on, I can't live with myself if I sit back and do nothing. And I said, I decided to get in this race because I said, you know what? I'm not going to put up with a lot of this stuff. I'm going to speak. I got a loud voice. So people can talk about what they want. They can say what they want to say about Hershel Walker. But let me tell you what, the arm of God is on me. I'm going to be okay. But I'm not going to quit because we got to come together. And I know I can unite people. I can tell you that. I can unite people. You've seen it. The people that's endorsing me right now, some people that didn't even like each other. But they endorse me because they know I'm the right one for the seat. And I said, guys, I don't listen to them because I'm running this. And that's what I decided I was going to do. I'm not just trying to be a politician. Because some of the people, they want to be politicians. They want to hang out with their buddies. You know, they look just like, you know, I don't even look like a politician. I don't dress like one, do I? I don't wear a tie. My neck is too big to put a tie on. So I'm not wearing a tie. Hey, what I am, who you see right now is the person I am. And I said, I'm sick and tired of what I see going on in these streets. That is not right. I'm sick and tired of people think there's a color in right and wrong. There's no color in right and wrong. I'm sick and tired of these people that they want a job, can't get a job because of what our government is doing. I'm sick and tired of they want to teach my kid to hate himself because he's black. You know, you're oppressed, they're taking advantage of, oh, you're white, oh, you need to feel guilty. That ain't America. And we know that. But it's time for people to get off the fence and quit complaining and start working. Everybody want to complain. Well, you know what? If you keep complaining, you ain't going to recognize the United States of America tomorrow. You keep complaining, you're going to wake up tomorrow and recognize this country.
Monday, while I was on air, the Supreme Court document, draft one opinion about an upcoming Supreme Court case was leaked. We were on the air Monday night when that happened in breaking news. I want to ask you a two-part question. What are your thoughts on the leaking of the document? And then, what are your thoughts, obviously, on Roe v. Wade?
Well, first of all, I'm a Christian. I believe in life. I believe in life. I'm a Christian. I believe in life. You know, in the 10th commandment said, thou shalt not kill. I believe in life. You know, on the leaking, you know, I'm just shocked that we continue to let people get away with leaking a document. First of all, this document wasn't even finished. And what they try to do, and you guys need to wake up to this. They're trying to confuse you because it's time to vote. They want to get you emotional. They don't want you thinking about what's going on. They don't want you thinking about all those bad policies that you've been dealing with. They want everyone now fighting. I heard some of the, I'm going to call their names, I'm not going to give them publicity, talking about peaceful protesting. Y'all remember those peaceful protesting, people breaking in stores? Y'all remember those peaceful protesting? Things that have destroyed people's businesses? So right now they're trying to get you emotional. There's no doubt. Roe versus Wade are very, very touchy, but I believe in life. But that's what's great about the United States of America. We have the right to disagree, to agree to disagree. But right now, the left has decided that they don't want you to disagree with them. They want to harm you if you disagree with them. Where is that at in this country here? But if we continue to let them get away with it, they're going to do it. They want to change everything now. Guys, our way of life, we were doing okay. We were going forward. Now we're taking a huge step backwards. We're taking a big step backwards. Do we have things we had to correct? Yes, we do. Was it getting better? Yes, it was. But was it like what they're doing to us right now? No, it's not. But we've elected people to office that forgot about the reason they were sent there. And now I guarantee you can't get them on the phone. Now they know everything. They want a soundbite. They want TV time. Well, I don't need TV time. I had enough.
So we're at Hershel Walker, Senator Hershel Walker. Next year, something vote comes up. Do we get rid of Roe v. Wade? You said you're about life. What is your vote on Roe v. Wade?
Well, my vote. I think you got to send it to the states. But I believe in life. That's what's so funny. I believe in life, and that's what I told people. I said, guys, I'm not gonna go against my principles. And I talked to a bunch of pastors at this. I was talking to a bunch of pastors, and I said, guys, it's time for y'all to get in this fight. And they said, what are you talking about? I said, well, they said, Hershel, we try not to be political in church. I said, well, I beg it different right here with you. Don't they have the 10 Commandments? You have the 10 Commandments that thou shalt not kill. Well, right now, you see what's going on in the streets. Thou shalt not steal. Whoa, you see what's going on in the streets. Thou shalt not covet. Meaning they don't want what you got. But that's what they're talking about they want to do. So do y'all not think, I'm not telling you to tell your parents who to vote for, but tell them to vote for the right policies. The right policies, what you're going to do, that's what a Christian's supposed to do. Don't tell me you like Jesus and you don't want to do what he taught you. Because I told you I love Jesus. Do I have problems? Yes, I do. Am I a sinner? Yes, I am. But I ask for forgiveness every day. I ask for forgiveness every day. Because I said, you know what? We all fall short of the will of God. I said, our problem right now, they're trying to divide us. That's how they conquer. They're trying to divide us. And I can guarantee Russia, China, and Iran is laughing. So we're going to let them destroy themselves. And then we're going to come.
When you talk about pastors, you spoke to pastors, your opponent, like I said, would you be moving on to the general? Your opponent is a pastor who has spoken out this week, tweeted out about his feelings on abortion. He's pro-abortion. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, as I told you, I believe in life. I think what we can do is invest in, we can invest in adoption program. We can invest in giving programs to single mothers and single fathers. What about, have they looked into doing that? Because, guys, the thing that people forget about, they forget about this. The majority of the babies in abortion kill an African American. The majority of the people that die on the streets are African American. The majority of the things that happen to people like myself. And it seems like they continue to go out there, let's riot, they do whatever they want to do, peaceful protest, as my race get faded away. And I said, no, I'm not going to let that happen. But the humanity of man get faded away because you lose your faith by them taking it away. When you start living a life that's not godly, because remember, I was shocked just the other day. Remember, we had prayer, a prayer day the other day. Remember, it was a National Prayer Day.
It was Wednesday. Oh, actually,
Thursday.
It was Thursday. Saturday, Sunday.
But do y'all know you can pray every day? You can pray every day. I give you one day to pray. Pray every day. That's what we need to do. Start praying every day.
So here's where we play this game a lot on the show. We're going to play a game called Word Association. I'm gonna say a word, and you just simply share your thoughts. And for those of you old enough to remember that famous skit at Saturday Night Live between Richard Pryor and Chevy Chase, that will not be this.
That better not be this right here. Oh, we would get a lot of time.
Right. And that one, see, only the old people got that.
Oh, and you know what's so funny? In today's world, that wouldn't even be allowed. Think about it. In today's world, Archie Bunker wouldn't even be allowed to be on television. In today's world, the Jefferson wouldn't even be allowed to be on television. In today's world, I'm naming a lot of shows.
Yeah. So let's play Word Association. So I'm going to throw out a word, and I just want, right on top of your head, your thoughts. Education.
School choice.
Well, whatever you want to say. Whatever.
I would say school choice because I think if we start putting money in the student rather than the institution, I think that's what we need to start doing because we're putting so much money in the school instead of the kid because every kid should have a good education. So that's why I think school.
Okay. Race.
Divisive because 23andMe is screwed us all up. And we don't know what we are. And in God's eyes, we're his kids. So I just think divisive.
Okay. Progressives.
That's divisive as well. Jeez. That's divisive.
Okay. Conservatives.
patriot, people that love to do the right thing. Because that's amazing. It seems like conservative are people that want to do the right thing for this country. Patriot, they're American. And that's what's sad. How can people that live in the United States of America, this greatest country in the world, not want to share all of this with everybody? This is a beautiful place. Guys, I've been to other countries. And there's nothing better than this United States of America. I can promise you that.
Trump.
Trump, he's a leader. I think Trump is a leader. And I've known Donald Trump since 83. A matter of fact, little Bunk and little Donald lived with my family for a week for 5 years during the summer. Can y'all believe that? And Donald supposed to be a racist. He let his kids live with a black man. And the intelligence of those two kids, I think it's from me and not from Donald, but I call him. Anyway, and I can tell you right now, and I say a leader because I can promise you, well, I can't promise you that because he's not there. I don't think a lot of stuff be happening if Donald Trump is president today. And it's not what the man tweets or says, it's what he does. And some of his policies were the best policies that this country has ever had. He's only had one term. And when Donald decided to endorse me, people were like, oh, Donald, I told Hershel Walker. Let me tell you this here. Donald had never told me to run for president, run for Senate. Y'all know that? He never told me to run for Senate. He's taking the credit for it. But we went into prayer probably a month before Donald even mentioned anything about me running for Senate. June and I went into prayer before then. And Donald is a different guy. He's a different guy, but let me tell you what, that guy loves America. And I knew this in 1983. And if the New York Times, it was the New York Times, I was doing an interview in 1983. I still remember this, walking down the street with Donald Trump and somebody from the Times. And I said, this guy can be president of the United States. I'm never thinking that he'd ever do it. But the reason I said that is because he loved America. He kept talking about how these other countries were taking advantage of America. And I said, he loved America, so I thought he'd be president of the United States of America. And stuff, so.
I want to now take Deanna, Allen, you guys want to ask questions, take questions from the audience, if that's possible.
The border, you said the border. Oh, well, now the border is very, very important. And that's what's sad about the border. Do you know a couple of months ago, you remember all those congressmen and senators went down to the border, they were complaining about the border. Well, what did they do? They did absolutely zero. And I said, we got to control this border. We got to go down to this border and put money into the border. I'm not saying we don't want to give all the money to Ukraine. Why don't we take a little bit of the money, give it to the people that try to stop the people from coming over the border? You got to stop the people from coming over the border because I just saw there was 3 kids, I think 2 kids that was killed for fentanyl. They were killed for fentanyl and stuff. And I'm like, guys, y'all know 70% of the drugs coming into the United States of America comes through Atlanta, Georgia. We got to stop that.
And also human trafficking.
Human trafficking, we got to stop that. We don't know who's coming into this country right now.
Young lady, you had a question?
Abortion.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir?
Well, I'd like to ask you, Senator, what's your number one priority once you're in the United States?
This is my number one priority. And I always tell people, one of the things that you have to do, and I tell people this is what I said I need to do. I got to be united. And what I mean by that, I got to cross the aisle. I got to be willing to go across the aisle because right now, we got to quit the fighting. We got to get people to vote with me and cross the aisle. My first thing got to be this economy. We got to work on getting this economy back together again because they always said, rising tide floats all boats. What they mean by that is when the economy is flourishing and people are happy, they're able to do things without having to be all this anger, all this upsetness. And that's what I think my number one priority is. Let's get this economy straight.
Before I go, I want to go follow up with that question. You
Yeah.
said work across the aisle. In some circles, in some quarters within the Republican Party, that's almost like, what are you talking about? So when you talk about working across the aisle, what are some of the things that you could come together with Democrats on to get things accomplished?
Well, you know, one of the easiest things we should do first, I'm gonna start going to every one of the Democrats and say, do you love America? Because if they don't love America, we got nothing to talk about. And then my next thing is, do you love the Constitution? Because if you don't love the Constitution, you got nothing to talk about. Because if they love those things there, we can start working on the small things. Those are big things right there. The small things, then we start working on. And I said, guys, I'm gonna tell y'all something else. And Greg, I know you're gonna get mad at me saying this. I'm not pounding y'all. But all Republicans are not right, all Democrats are not wrong. Our problem right now is people just go along to get along. Do you notice the Democrats vote together no matter what is out there? And the Republicans try to vote. Guys, vote what's the right thing to do. You know, some of the things about that Senator Warnock has voted for don't even fit Georgia. He's voted like he's from Boston. It don't even fit Georgia. You know, like, guys, when you look at the vote, the first thing you need to look at it, when I become a United States Senator, I'm going to say, is this good for Georgia? If it's not good for Georgia, I'm going to say, no. Is it good for the United States? If it's not good for the United States, I'm going to say, no. I said, guys, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not just supposed to vote because somebody told you to vote. Look at the policy, and then this is another one. And read the whole bill. Dude, I found out that some of them don't even read the whole thing. They read part of it. Guys, I hired people to work with me that I want them to read the whole thing. They're going to tell me the whole thing. Because I love Judge Judy, and I know that we have to read everything. So I read everything on the whole bill. So I'm going to know all of it. So read the whole thing. Don't just make part of this decision. The foreign policy challenge, I think one of the most foreign policy challenges on national security is going to be one of them. And the reason I say that is right now, our biggest problem we have, we continue to let this border stay wide open, which we have now have lost. I think that's one of the major problems we have. And we're not supporting our military. We've got to support the military. We got to have that support. And then another thing that we have to do, we got to become energy independent again. Why are we not energy independent again? That's easy to do. And you know, Biden mentioned that about they have given the leases over to some of these countries. They give them they give the leases over to some of the companies. But did he not tell you that the leases have so many restrictions from the government mandates that they have that you can't do? You can't even use the leases. So we got to release the leases. We need to release on some of the government things that have all the government regulations. And then, well, I think one of the major problems is get these streets safe by saying, okay, we got to quit defunding the police. We got to fund the police, which they said that. But I'm going to tell you this secret. Now you got to have that bias. And what I mean by that is the police don't trust you no more. We got to let people and the judges and DAs that's going to do the right thing. Because we can't arrest no one, and before you can walk out of the jail, he's walking out too. So I think those are major issues we got to get done to make these streets safe again.
What do you think about Bitcoin?
Bitcoin, I don't know that much about Bitcoin, but one of the things I do know, Bitcoin can make one currency for the world, which I don't really do that much with Bitcoins. My son would say he invested in a lot of Bitcoins, but he got more money than I do. But I don't know a lot about Bitcoin. So, is that a good thing? Sorry about that.
It's an honest thing. I mean, I think people.
Well, I know about Bitcoin, but I don't know a lot about it. I don't say nothing. I don't want to give no one a sound bite.
Right. No. I think I can speak for most of the people in this room now. We want people to be honest, and I think most people.
Do you know a lot about Bitcoin?
I don't. It's very confusing to me. I try to know.
Well, you don't know a lot. I'm like, whoa, that's gonna be a good sound bite. I don't know about Bitcoin, but
I don't either.
But I know my son did. He bought a bunch of Bitcoin or something. He said, this was so funny. I'm telling you, I love my son. I love him to death. This dude can speak all these different languages and writing, but this was so funny. Homeboy don't know how to send a text. His text to me is LUVU. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, dude, a young man that can speak all these different languages and write these languages need to write 40 words or less. Like 40 words or less, and said, Dad, where I'm at, what's going on, and talk about the dog, because we got a dog, so I can know it's really him, because LUPU could be an imposter. Oh, and it happened to be vetted. I was just vetting like that.
But back to what we're saying, I think people now want honesty. So I think we want people running for office at any level who are willing to say, no, I'm not that familiar, and I'm not going to go down that road. Yes, sir.
Yeah. The Democrats are allowing millions of people to come across our borders illegally. Places like New York City, which is where I'm from, are allowing non-citizens to vote. How do you feel about non-citizens voting?
No. No. Guys, we have rules here. That's what's so funny. Even in the great Garden of Adam and Eve, God told them they have total freedom. But you touch and eat from that tree, you will surely die. They were held to responsibility. We have laws in this country that we got to hold people responsible for what they do. And this was so funny. On the books, there's some laws on the books that are helping with the border. But people won't even look at them. They won't even address it. There's laws on the books, even in the Constitution, that will help with some of the things on the streets. They won't even look at them. But this was so strange about it. You know, if any military servicemen or women in India, they take an oath. I will defend the United States of America, foreign and domestic, with their lives. That's their oath. And if they don't do that, they're held to be responsible. Do you know when you're elected to office, your oath is, I will defend the Constitution, foreign and domestic. So why are they not doing it?
Yes, sir. In the back.
You got to tell people now, you didn't pick these people out, you don't know who they are.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, no idea. Oh, you're saying, hold on, you're saying that, no,
I can't hear you.
we're not doing that. They're going to accuse us of doing that, but we're not doing that. Okay.
First of all, I just want to thank you again. I speak for a lot of us in this room that we're just so thankful that you're speaking and standing up and running for what you believe in this country and our place. So thank you for that as an inspiration. Secondly, I did want to ask specifically the Republican Party conservatives, what would you advise those of us in the room and maybe candidates running and leaders in the conservative movement and the Republican Party to do to maybe a little bit more to minority voters and make our party more inclusive for everyone and to just grow that across people of all colors and races and backgrounds at the Republican?
He said, what would I do?
What would you do to broaden intent, bring in minorities, women,
You know what, the best thing to do.
Is that right?
Yes, the best thing to do is what I'm doing. You guys, they told me I was conservative. So I've been going to neighborhoods that people tell me that they never had politicians to go into. And I said, why? They said, because they don't think they can win here. I said, I represent everybody. Doesn't matter what color you are, I represent everybody. So I think first thing you do is go talk to someone. Don't be afraid to talk to someone about your beliefs. That's okay. Don't be afraid to talk to someone about your belief and what you believe in. And, don't get angry. It is amazing that when people get angry, no one hears anything anymore. Talk to somebody like, no, just talk to them. That's why I told people, like, guys, they say I'm a conservative. I didn't know I was conservative. I just thought I just was doing the right thing. And, something happened to me that when I was 16 years old, and it was written somewhere, I don't know where it was written at, but what was happening is there was a lot of racial things going on in my little hometown. And there was a lot of African American leaders, black leaders came down to my hometown, and something happened, and they wanted me to go this way and go that way. And my parents always told me there's no color in right and wrong. And I was 16, they told me, oh, you do what's right. And I say to myself back then, what if I had chose to do it the other way? Where will I be today? Well, right now, I'm at an opportunity where I can change something. I'm at an opportunity where I can get invited to the table. And that's why I tell people, I got to get to the table first, because if they don't invite me to the room, I can't take a seat. And now, this was so funny. Do you know, in the business world, I'm invited into the room. Not only do I own a company, people forget I sit on a publicly traded board. Can y'all believe that? I'm a black man. I sit on a publicly traded board of hotels. Like, wow. guys, I've come from nothing. Remember, I was poor to here, where I get invited into the room where I can try to change things for black and brown people like myself. And not only that, I can try to change things for all color people, because I will tell you how my family is white, my family is black, my family is Asian, Italian, Spanish. I got a Russian girl in my family. So y'all know they gotta impeach me. This was so funny about her. She's giving me 3 beautiful nephews. And I said, I love her too. And I said, God, that's what's so funny. This is a great country of Americans. And we got to get out of all this racial divide. And you know, and I can tell you what, they don't believe in racism. They don't say something that probably going to get cut off air. Because I was watching something the other day, and now you may need to help me. I was watching them, they were rioting and picketing, and they were doing it for Roe versus Wade, and most black babies were getting killed, but I saw most white people doing it.
Which is an image that which is an image that's so scary when you really think about it. And tomorrow, pro-abortionists are going to be protesting Catholic churches, which I find fascinating because your opponent. Well, it's interesting because the opponent, your opponent, or whoever's opponent in general, is a pastor. And I'm wondering if that church will be targeted as a church, but probably not, because that church.
But I know right now, I'm at this time in life where I'm supposed to be. And what I want to do right now is work for you guys, because you guys are my family. And my parents taught me to protect your family. And I'm going to protect my family, because right now I have 4 policies. I say I got to get going. I got to get this economy back together. I got to get our national security back together. I got to get these streets out here, these community streets, safer again. I got to get those safe again. And also got to get that America's dream back alive. Get all this craziness out of our schools. And I can promise you, Hershel Walker going to work. Because I told people right now, I'm not going to Washington by myself. I'm taking Jesus Christ with me. And he can block and I can run. God bless you guys.
But thank you again for coming. This has been a fantastic event. Please give it up for Shelly, Wynter, and Hershel Walker for putting on such a great event today. And to all of our teams, the 4 of us, we have a whole bunch of people that work on our organizations that have put this together. Thank you all so much for all your hard work. I know we also want to thank Park Bench for hosting us. They've been a gracious host. Yes, please give it up to Park Bench. And I know that they're not closing down. If you want to go to the bar and you want to have a good time, they're not kicking us out. So you can stick around here and have a couple of drinks, join us in the Braves game. We'd love to see you. And if there's anybody here that is interested in joining one of our organizations, please come find any of the 3 of us up here. We'd be happy to talk to you about what membership looks like. But again, we really appreciate you all coming this afternoon and taking a couple hours out of your Saturday to join us. I'm going to pass it on to Deanna to close us out from A1PNews. Thank you.
I think Alan wrapped it up pretty well for us. Again, everyone, thank you for coming out. Enjoy Cobb County, enjoy the Battery, and be safe getting home. Have a good night. Oh, we also, VIP, we have a little arrangement for you guys in the back room for all of our VIP members. Thank you.
And guys, if you guys want any information on Blexit, I encourage you guys to visit Blexit.com, or you can look up Blexit Georgia on any social media platform to find out more information, so we can keep you posted on what's going on.
Thank you all for coming. Monday through Friday, WSB 95.5, Word on the Street. God bless. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.